Welcome to Transformations with Tara. This is Tara Sutphen. And my guest and co-host today is Jason D. McKean. And he is the voice of over 1 million Ohm recordings throughout the world. 1 million. Yeah. Well, probably way more than 1 million now.
There's more people that listen to it. Yeah.
Right. That was just sold on one of the albums, whereas, he has a whole list of albums. And so he has Ohm Serenity, Ohm Sanctuary, Eternal Ohm, Ohm Eternity, Ohm Indigenous, Ohm Beats, 108 Sacred Ohms.
Ohm Cosmos.
Ohm Cosmos. What else?
Yeah. Om Shiva Shakti Namaha.
Yeah, that one. Anyway, so lots of them. And plus he has meditations also that have the Ohm behind them. And yeah, welcome, Jason.
Thank you, Tara. Happy. Well, it's like pre-summer solstice, right?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the summer solstice today. And yeah, we love the summer solstice, the awakening. We're going to worship the sun.
Yeah, it's like like one of the, wouldn't you consider it like, on the solar wheel there's the 8 Sabbats, right?
Yes.
And it's like I think it's really significant. I mean, all of them have their own significance to them, but there's something about the summer. There's something about the beginning of a summer for the northern hemisphere anyway.
Right.
It's like, since we're global, it's like, yes, we need to like acknowledge that, it's like it's just us up in the northern hemisphere that because it's all about the earth like just tilting on an axis, right? And it just like goes to that point before it starts to like go back, and then it starts we'll get the winter in 6 months, but this is like what is it about the solstice? What are the characteristics?
Well, it's all the moon phases, and so that's what all the Sabbats are, the pagan Sabbats. It's all about the light, when it's celebrating the light and celebrating the darkness. And so the celebration of the summer is that it's a time to allow your everything that you've rested, everything that you have put away, all the problems that you've solved, because all throughout the whole winter is really solving a lot of these problems, letting your body rest, letting your health come back into full embodiment to enjoy the light. And so on the 21st of June, it's all about coming back into the beautiful light and awakening for summer. Yeah. And then we're waiting for the harvest. The harvest will then come, because it's all about growing food and worshiping the earth. So
yeah. After the earth has been dormant for so long, it's like we can be like recharging ourselves, kind of building up for then how it is that we release that energy. It's like the seed that's holding all that energy, and then there's the opportunity for it to start to sprout.
Well, that's our lives.
Yeah. Is that part of what that awakening is?
Right. And so a lot of times on Beltane, which is the May 1st Sabbath, and that's when it's just in between the darkness and the light, so it's that spark, having fun. But a lot of people, it's about the meeting people. And in the old days, some of them married each other for a year to see if it would work out. And so by the time now, with the full awakening is when you celebrate the actual marriage. You bake the wedding cake. So
it's like a trial run, like just let's see if
wow, that was some kind of So I have an old-fashioned buttermilk wedding cake here in my Solstice article that I put out every year.
Is that like a recipe for it?
Yeah.
So is that an encouragement for people just to shack up and say, hey, let's see if this works out for a
Well,
year
I
and
think
see where we're
sometimes
at.
that sometimes is a good thing. Yeah, shack
Yeah.
up and try it out. Because so many people they're so gun shy these days. Yeah,
Right. There's a lot
because
of pressure.
they will not, get together. I mean, and they pretend like they're married for 5 years and then they break up. But it's just like, well, it'd be better to, like step in instead of being always half in. I don't know. I find it interesting.
So are there magical ingredients in that cake, that buttermilk cake that just
Yes, put a little
like
magic in.
dial someone
Yes.
in?
Well, it is always intention. So you can, blow kisses in it.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Say there's going to be so much love in this cake, so much love in any of your food that you make. Because the intention. Cheyenne, as a chef, my daughter, she puts huge intention in her food and loves her food, even chopping, she thinks it's so relaxing. So the thing is that when she makes a dish, it's like delectable. You're just loving it because, I guess the whole process was in a whole loving state. Yeah.
I mean, isn't that the essence of like spell work? It is that intention and manifesting that intention, right? If you're baking something, let's say, right, you're making a meal for loved ones. It's like you're putting your own love of of manifesting this, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
you're moving that energy out. You have your intention, boom, there you have the actual thing, whether it's a cake or a sumptuous meal. And you're passing along that intention to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
is that the magic that is looking to either inspire someone, or they feel it, right? They feel that energy, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I cooked for a long time for a family, a big family, and I got to be a short order cook a lot. Whereas it was like, really, everybody, it's just good if you like cook. There's a salad and there's some vegetables and there's some
Like one
protein and
thing as opposed to 20 different things, it's like,
yeah,
I don't like that.
yeah.
It's like, you're gonna
And I
eat
had to
it.
deal with that a lot. So the thing is that you get to where you're not as conscious with the food, to where you want to stay conscious, even if you're the short order cook. Yeah,
And not just with food, right, but all
right,
of what you look to create in the world
right.
too, through your actions. And um it feels like, with the solstice, like that awakening aspect, that it is time to see what it is that you've been holding up inside yourself, or recharging for, and then activating it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's pretty interesting, just the time of light. Like that all the tribes of the world, you know, um, would celebrate. They celebrate light. So the Chinese, they celebrated Li, which is the goddess of light. And then you had the Slavs and the Celts, they all did their dancing around the stones and bonfires.
Yeah, you've got Stonehenge behind you, right? And it's like,
Hmm.
doesn't it, at the solstice, doesn't it like line up with where the sun is at?
Yeah, well, all of them do. Yeah, I never hung out. I was invited many times to Stonehenge with gosh, Tim Weeder, the new age musician, a lot of those guys would invite me
Mhm.
when I would work in London. And I went up to Callanish, which is out in the Outer Hebrides, up at the top of Scotland, and then the inner and outer Hebrides are out there, the islands.
Mhm.
And so the Isle of Lewis, which has Callanish on it. So I'd go up to Callanish. Yeah, that was my fave.
And you could
Mhm.
actually go amongst the stones, right? As far as,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they were great. Yeah,
And did,
it isn't super touristy up there.
did you do that at a, yeah, it sounds like it's a trek to get there
It
for
was
one.
a
If it's
big,
like these
huge trek. I loved it.
outer
I
islands.
love all that. Yeah, I went to every standing stone, probably in the British Isles there, Ireland, Scotland, England. Yeah, I've been to all.
But like Stonehenge is like fenced off for,
Mm.
most of the year. I know that they have like certain
Well,
circumstances where they
Stonehenge is very
open
much
it, but
is very much a it's a attraction. Yeah, that's yeah, it's nice. It's beautiful. I would recommend it to anyone to go to any of them. Yeah, just relax and have a beautiful day there. It's really nice.
have a picnic.
Yeah. They have food on the grounds. Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Like food trucks? That kind of
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like a little cafe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. 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 You always have tea. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
one must always have tea. I'm
Yeah. Well,
just
tea is the
gonna say that.
dinner to them. So yeah, but yeah, you can have a actual.
Tea is my breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah. Mine is not tea. Mine is a non-decaffeinated drink. Water.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yes.
that works too, I
Yeah.
guess. Yes.
Mm,
So, I wanted to congratulate you on finishing your book. I mean, speaking
thank
of
you.
awakenings and all, it's like
Yeah. It's a great week for it. Yeah. The light's now hitting the book. Yeah. I finished. It's been 2 years that I've really worked on it. Maybe a little over 2 years. So yeah, it was time.
And of course, the research for it, is like, it's like one's whole life, that they put into the book. It's just with books, it can be a theme or a certain way of organizing that information, but it's like you have to live the experiences and
Mm-hmm.
all, and then report on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically, but it's a great accomplishment to write,
Mm-hmm.
write it all out and organize it. And then, what you just said about where the light, comes upon it, right? It's like you,
Right.
you keep it all, to yourself, or you're like,
Mm-hmm.
in that creative process. And then when it comes time to share it, then that's when it goes out into the world, and it's like, oh, the light is able to come upon it, and people can get the information, and look forward to it. Look forward to to reading your manuscript.
Right. Well, it's been very interesting because I it's prolific when it comes to automatic writing. So I've taken 3 disincarnate spirits who are telling us about all sorts of stuff about the other side, and whatever questions we have, I ask them to answer. So there's tons of questions and hundreds of questions, and so they answer them. And I thought it was very interesting because both Hunter and Cheyenne both had dreams about their dad on the night, well, yesterday when I'm finishing the book. And so that was the deal, is that he could come and help me write the book. But, then he has to do stuff on the other side because he needs to go into like Sanctorium and torpor. He'll be in torpor for a long time, maybe. So the thing is that they both had dreams about him coming to them. And I thought that was interesting.
Do you explain those in your book, Sanctorium?
I think I should.
And torpor.
Maybe I should add that. I should add that now that this will be I'm sure that we talked about it at some point, but yeah, I should probably talk about that and how he came to like both of them.
Right before Father's Day.
Right.
Right.
Before Father's Day.
He's like, dropping hints, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For them to don't forget me.
Don't forget
on
you.
Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
What you got there?
I got myself a girl. Yeah. She has her new glasses on.
Hello, Everest.
Oh, she can't hear you.
Oh, that's right. But she can see me. She can wave back.
She is. She's waving back.
And she can see me because of her new glasses.
That's right.
How pretty.
Mm-hmm. She's our girl. And look at your cactus. Where were you born?
Arizona.
Mm-hmm. She was born in Arizona. She has her cactus shirt on.
It's funny because the cactus disappears.
Mm-hmm.
You can see Stonehenge.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Go play. Beanie. Yeah.
Well, that's nice that Hunter has a nice Father's Day
Yes.
planned.
Really nice. Yes.
Excellent.
She's the best. She's the best. Come here, Beans.
Usually I post, for our dad,
Mm-hmm.
for Father's Day, a picture where he looks a lot like a woman.
Mm-hmm. Because he's in that play, right?
He's in an opera. It's this Italian opera, like 15th century, and he's got a long wig, a lush brunette, but it's he's dad. But he's very
That's our
made up in
dad.
it.
Yeah.
And I'm standing next to him, because I was in the play too, in the opera, not singing, but playing a servant, or just someone without a singing part in it. A lot of fun memories. It's like, he I was thinking about, like, when I was a kid, like 11, 12, something like that. I was very much into magic tricks and stuff. And so he said, hey, you want to perform at my company's Christmas party? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like fun. And so, I'm like performing these magic tricks and all for his boss and their family and stuff. And they remembered that, because I saw him like maybe 10 years after that, and they had hired me to play music at their son's wedding. And they remembered, the magic tricks and all that. That was just kind of a fun part of their Christmas party.
Yeah.
But Dad was very instrumental in setting that up, right? Just like, hey, you want to do that.
Yeah. See? Yeah. He got you going out in front of the public.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if you have any fond memories of that,
Of Dad with long hair.
Right.
Yeah.
With wearing a wig and makeup out in public. No,
Yeah. No.
As far as any
We're still giving him a hard time. He's been dead like 27 years. We still give him a hard time.
You
Yeah.
know what? It's like
Yeah.
if you're a parent, it's like, you know, that's part of the deal, right?
Because our dad hated hippies, actually. So long hair was not his thing. It was, yeah. So Jason really put him through the ringer on that one. Yeah. Anyway.
I put him through the ringer. As far as, you know, I think that it was just the style of the time, right? It's like, you
Yeah.
know, longer hair and all. It's like all he had to do was wait another, you know, 10 years when everyone was like shaving their heads, right? You know, men and women. So it's
Well,
like,
you know, yeah. Well, it's funny, you know, because I've been in Muscle Shoals, Alabama a lot. And if you guys have seen the documentary, you know, about when they were doing the rock music, that, you know, the hippies, you know, they had talked about the hippies. And it's just always so funny because I think of us living in San Francisco and the same thing. We lived in the Bay Area. Dad worked in Berkeley, you know, by the campus, UC Berkeley campus, and it's the hippies, you know. He was always like, those hippies. Yeah.
yeah, expletive hippies.
Quite funny. Right, and then he moved us to Alaska full time because we were going back and forth, but then we went back and really, you know, my teenage years all went to Alaska. Yeah. Keep us
but,
out of trouble.
well, and to like, you know, come back as metaphysicians, you know, as you know, like some of what at the heart was in that hippie philosophy or whatever was what peace, love, you know, finding
Oh, absolutely.
a harmonious connection to nature.
I was already sending him 20-page letters in 8th grade that were filled with Khalil Gibran. So, you know, about how children were really not your children. They were children of the world. Anyway, yeah, he'd really wanted to like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
What is this hippie crap? Expletive.
And of course I am like that today. So yeah, it was my philosophy of life. This true spiritual way.
Well, I mean, but you think about, you know, how that resistance can also, you know, it's not that your kids are always just looking for a way to rebel. You know, it's like, oh, how am I going to get mom and dad? Right. It's like,
I never thought that.
no, I never thought it. It's like, you know, it's like you have a connection to your own like true center at a very early age. And you're looking for ways to embody that, to individuate, to be that person in the world, you know, because there's a knowing. You know, it's like a lot of people will just kind of like struggle. They'll say, am I this? Am I that? I don't know. But if you know, and you go towards it, it's like, you know, it can, you know, sometimes be not aligned with what your parents are, you know, how their you know, their mode of thought is, or so. And so, you know, there can be, you know, some butting of heads and all. But, you know, it's like, you know, there were times when dad would show up at a punk rock concert that I was playing at, and he would be like kind of standing off to the side or whatever, and just kind of observing. I mean, it didn't look like he was like turning beet red or anything, just going, how dare they? It's like, I think he was like observing like the connection again with like musician, or you know, it's like we were a band, we had a community that we were providing music for, and letting them like,
well, I think that I think that you kind of tamed him at that point.
We broke him.
By the time, yes, he got to you, he was fine. Yes. You know, I mean, really, I mean, it was about love. Yeah. I reiterated that all the time. You know, it was.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to get along with everybody. So we all did. We all
So,
had a great time. Whenever he was getting along, we all had a great time.
so
Because
happy
he was
Father's
kind of
Day,
our
Dad.
child. It was kind of, he was our child. Yeah. And yeah, happy Father's Day, Dad, in heaven. But yeah, because we were not half as unruly as he was. Yeah, he was a bit unruly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's another radio program. We're talking about the summer solstice and the light.
Yeah, the light that you get shine on everyone and everything. Because you make effort. It's called effort. Yeah, sunny effort.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one does need to do that.
Put your best foot forward, not your worst. And for summer, so what kind of summer plans do you have? As far as to create good memories and create good times. It can be really simple things. It can be a barbecue, it can be just a homemade meal, it can be inviting friend over for tea. It's really just easy things. Board games. Don't have to go all out. Can relax and do a few little things. Doesn't have to be big trips.
Right. And, depending on where you're at too, it's
Mhm.
like it can be easier to just kind of stay indoors a little bit, It's like, if you're in a place that you can get out and enjoy nature, then absolutely. If it's, 120 degrees outside, it's like you may want to just wait until like another part of the year to go out and enjoy nature. But for the most part, I think that if you can keep it kind of local and see things that are around you, it's like and if you're wanting to help clean up parts of your own neighborhoods or cities or whatever, it's like that's a thing too.
Yeah. Well, I'm one who doesn't really put on the air conditioning in the summertime. I always think, if I lived in Phoenix, I might. But
Yeah.
yeah, but even in LA, even though it's 90, 95, I just don't put on the air conditioning. I have like fans around, open windows, because I want to be out with horses. So I don't really want to faint.
Yeah, you could get acclimated to like
Yeah.
always being nicely chilled, and then you go out into the heat and it's like, oh my God, I'm dying.
Yeah, I can't. You can't function. So, I go ahead and do that every year, so I don't have to worry about functioning out in the heat. Yeah. And then so when the breeze comes up and everything, it's like, this is heaven. Yeah. And it's 90 degrees, 95, 100. Yeah. But you're a little better acclimated.
Is that part of your plan for yourself?
Yeah, always is. Every year. Yeah. That's my thing, is to try to become acclimated
Mhm.
and not be too much of a wimp in weather, whether it's cold or hot.
Right. Right.
And I think maybe it's good for the liver to do that, to acclimate. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's like for myself, it's kind of short, just day trips or so, with Stu, the dogs, to enjoy, what SoCal has to offer. I mean, there's so many different terrains, environments, and all that. It's just enjoying, where it is that you can, and
Mhm.
whether it's a town, inside a town, or if it's out in nature, just
Mhm.
not too where those places are too snaky,
Mhm.
you know uh,
Well,
you know,
even then, you don't necessarily, you have to have rattlesnake karma or karma with the animal, with snakes. You know, I've never had a lot of karma with snakes.
mhm.
You know, like people will say, oh, Arizona's full of snakes. Actually, I've only seen one snake, and it was in the middle of the road, and I have tromped everywhere and in Arizona and had horses in Arizona. So yeah, no, no snakes. And I've never had any scorpions like in my house or anything. So when I had houses there, I don't know if it was because I just vacuumed a lot or what, but I never had any scorpions. Yeah. So
Excellent. Maybe it's all the dogs too. I mean, do dogs like kind of keep,
not
some of the critters
necessarily.
away?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you don't want them like around rattlesnakes or anything, dogs. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
you don't.
it's true. But as far as if there's that movement though, sometimes it's the movement of the dogs and all that just kind of keeps other animals at a distance.
Well, the cats do. I did have cats. I did have cats then. I mean, we have cats now, but yeah, cats. And then yeah, no. Usually, I mean, I like having dogs around. Like when I've been in Alabama, I like having the dogs. There's 4 dogs. They usually hang out. Yeah, I like having them around.
That's a lot of dogs.
They're great dogs. One hunting dog and then 1 mountain cur and then 2 German shepherds. They're great dogs. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Love dogs.
I was looking at when we were looking up to talk about, the solstice, right?
Mhm.
It's like the number one thing that was mentioned, it's like was before the solstice, it's about, the meditation part of, getting your act together, right? Like knowing what it is that you're looking to awaken inside yourself. And that's always a go-to. It's not just for this time of year. It's always a thing to do, to find time to meditate, to stay focused and find ways to activate courage inside yourself, because it's like, generally if you're looking to do something that's important, it's like you feel like there is there can be like can I do this? And it's like, yeah, it's like you're given opportunities, and you're to step into those opportunities when they're presented, and not just shy away from it, especially if you've been planting those seeds, if you've been meditating on these things to show up for you. And it's like you provide a lot of meditations, through you have the Apple.
I have eye hypnotherapy
As far as an app, right?
app. Yeah, I have eye hypnotherapy. It's not in Android though, to whereas I've really wanted it in Android, but my app master has not.
Not yet.
Not yet. Anyway, so yeah, so I have so the MP3s are on my website as well at tarainsight.com if you're interested in some MP3s. And then I do personal MP3s for anybody who wants the hypnosis and for yourself.
Is that
And
if they
then-
have like a specific direction that they are
Right.
moving towards, or
Right.
want specific
Mhm.
suggestions?
Mm-hmm. And then if you really, really don't want to work at something, I do hypnothesia, which is going under anesthesia. And I give you the suggestions that you work out with me. But whatever it is that you want to work on, whether it's weight loss, success, no smoking, getting your health on track, whatever it is, you know, we do it under anesthesia, and I have an anesthesiologist for that.
I mean, is that something that if someone has like a real monkey mind, where it's just like,
Yeah, well, everybody has somewhat of a monkey mind. So if you really just don't want to work at something, you just want it embedded into your brain, I got it. We can do it.
Right.
We can do it, and you'll never want to do whatever it is that you're working against yourself. Sabotage, all that self-sabotage, like, gone. Yeah. But I love hypnosis because of that. It's all about strengthening the mind. And so everything that I ever do with people, you have to listen 60 to 90 times anyway. But you don't have to sit around and listen. You can do it when you're going to sleep, when you're waking up in the morning. Just turn it on.
Right.
So that you have it in the background, because it's really embedding into your subconscious, not really your conscious mind.
Yeah, it's like people will listen to my Om albums, like when they wake up, or if they're going to sleep, just to kind of cultivate a peaceful atmosphere. And sometimes you don't have to just like focus on it, like where you're just like intent on listening to it. You just play it and allow for it to start to replace old energy, old thoughts. It's like, oh, why can't I do that?
And I have a lot of Om
this
that Jason's on, in my MP3s,
as far as the background, right?
Yeah, it's Jason Oming.
Om.
Yes. Ta-da. Yes. It's a good day to Om. June 21st.
Is that when the solstice is this year?
Yeah, I'm thinking, pretty much. We went from the Caesarean calendar to the Gregorian calendar in 80-60, and so that's when we changed again. We went to the different calendars for the millennium. When it went from 0, 80, from our BC years.
Oh, so, yeah, I remember that.
The Chinese and Hebrew calendar does not do all that. They stay with the old, the BC calendars.
Are they any more accurate?
Oh, yeah. Well, it is, because it's, it goes in, it's more conducive with the flow of the moon and the sun. Yeah.
Right.
That
as opposed to strictly just the solar.
Well, what happens is they say that, like it's June 21st when it's the longest day of the year, and it's pretty much about then, but it's when the full moon and the new moon is. So, as far as the true mathematics of something. And so that's a little bit the difference.
Right. So maybe it's just a way of simplifying it for the masses.
Yeah.
Saying,
it was kind of,
let's just go with that day.
Yeah, I guess that's what was their thinking. I don't really, I guess so.
I mean, it just kind of keeps it organized for the rest of us.
Right. It was somebody's idea, and it's stuck. Yeah.
Well, it feels though that like it is the cosmos has its say, right? The sun has its say, and where it is that we are in it, like when we're under the full moon, right? When that's the time to do your work. If you have a ritual, that you do. It's like at this time, it looks like, there's bonfires that people can have, to kind of celebrate. They can, go to the, any kind of standing stones, or, whatever place has meaning for them, to, bring about, again, this feeling of awakening, of getting in gear, activating, what it is that you've been meditating on, and to, start sharing it, bring it out into the light.
That's right. That's why it was just so nice. The book just happened to be here. It's coming out into the light. It's like being born. Okay.
Do things just happen? Do they just happen?
Yeah, probably not.
I was telling someone that, coincidences, they aren't. I don't believe in coincidences. I've read too many, had too many tarot readings that I've read, and where the cards come up, and it's just like that's not a, by accident that these are the cards that come up. And coincidences, I'm not a believer in coincidence.
And synchronicity?
Well, synchronicity is about being in the flow. It's about being in sync, right? And recognizing that one can be in a larger pattern. You can see where things come together, and they come together for reasons.
Right. But I think that you always have choices within those reasons. So you either step in, or you don't have to step in at all.
Sure.
You can, it's a choice at that point. And it might take you into another set of choices. But I still think that the coincidence, I think, is a planned thing usually. It's like the gods laughing that finally they got together. They kept intersection miss, and then all of a sudden, boom. Oh,
right.
Yeah, an attachment.
Right. So, but what's underlying that, though, is something that has like a deeper pattern to it, a deeper level to it. And so a coincidence may feel like a momentary, just kind of, that's strange. But I become more, where things are not strange, that it's like, okay, I see, like, I'm not surprised by stuff when it happens.
But maybe that's your life now, is that you created your life to expect kind of the magic or the wonderful things to happen. And so you don't think of it as a coincidence anymore.
Right.
Because you have learned to expect it.
I look to be in a place of flow, or in sync.
Yeah.
With it.
Right. Because I would say that, because there's always those times in your life where you'll have certain people who make your life weird. And you think, why? Yeah. Why am I having to deal with this? And instead of, because really going along in life in a really nice clip, and doing life on your terms is usually the way everybody wants it. But it doesn't always happen that way.
Of course.
Yeah. There are things that trip us up. Yeah.
Yeah. But even that is like recognizing a flow, because usually the things that trip us up are those catalysts for growth. They're the things that keep us from just operating at a static level. It's like we have to, like, keep on the rise for ourselves. Anyway, that's my take on it. And I forgot why I even brought it up.
Well, you were talking about coincidence, you know, how that works in people's life and that you didn't believe in it. Whereas I don't necessarily know what that would mean if I was like, it's you know, it's like researching, like, why would that even be a thing?
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's a topic for another day,
maybe.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Can write in, say what you think coincidence means. Okay, so Jason, how can people find you?
I am at Jason D. McKean, JASON D, as in Dragon Master, McKean, MCKEAN.com. And it has my Ohm albums. You can find them on iTunes or Amazon, Spotify, you know, all over. And my tarot classes and reading schedule is there as well. How about you, Tara?
Yes, you can find me at tarainsight.com, TARAINSIGHT.com. And I am going to plan some retreats. Yeah, everybody's been asking, been calling me, when are we having a retreat? So I will. Now that the book is done, I can have a little more
Yay.
time to think on what I would like to do on other projects. So yeah, so I will. Because, you know, we all want to go to the ranch in Sedona. And there's also, I mean, it's really fun. And we also have another retreat center that I'm going to start using. So
Okay. Awesome.
yeah, so it'd be good. So lots of love, everybody. Happy solstice, summer solstice, beautiful summer solstice.
Yeah, all you dads out there, happy
Oh yeah,
Father's Day too.
happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to the dads.
And to our dad. It's like, happy Father's Day, love you, Dad. I said it first.
Yeah, he's in heaven. Anyway, and yeah, and then but my son is a father, and we're so happy he's a father to beautiful Everest. So lots of love, everybody. Lots of blessings.